Like you bear with me. We'll get started in a second. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shemel Shabrak to the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Thun by Shemel Shah to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer Karan Yala, and this is a Friday night Lashawan Qadash class on the ISUBK Sacramento page. Salaki, the ISUBK Sacramento page, aka the Sacramento Israelites page. Right? So today I'm gonna break down two scriptures in the Holy Tongue or the Lashawan Qadash. I'm gonna be breaking down Amos 5:21 as well as Genesis 1:1. I'm gonna go over the characters in case anybody's new to the channel or if they're not familiar with the characters. I'm gonna go over the characters, which is very important on learning any language to learn the alphabet or the characters of that language. And also, I'm going to go over a few vocabulary words. All right. So, Salakia, I'm gonna go over these characters, and as I'm calling out the characters, I'm gonna be off screen just so y'all can get a clear picture of the characters. I don't know why. Every time I move, it's like a glare with the lighting system. But Salakia. All right. We're gonna go over five characters, another five, six, another six. If you're not familiar with the Hebrew characters, there's two types of Hebrew that us and the ISUBK teach and study, which is the ancient or the Paleo Hebrew, and the other one is the Assyrian Hebrew, right? In the ancient or the Paleo Hebrew, there's 22 characters, right? In the Syrian Hebrew, there's 27 characters, okay? And I'll explain that as I go, right? See that. So, like, yeah, let me get a darker pen. Bear with me, Mother Kashan. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. In the future, ISUBK Sacramento page, Lord willing, we'll start holding more classes as in the past, right? Gonna bring back the Monday night history class. I believe Officer Not Design taught that this week. Tuesday Brotherhood class will be back on the Sacramento page. Wednesday night law class. Uh, we might do the scripture breakdown on Thursday, Hebrew language class on Fridays, and then on Sundays, the Nothing New Under the Sun class, taught by myself, Officer Karan Yala. Okay, let's get started. So, lucky, I'm gonna be writing down these characters. I'm gonna try to breeze through these so we can get to the lesson. Okay, those are the first five characters. At the top, as usual, is the ancient. At the bottom is the Assyrian. So you have I, Ba, Ga, Da, and Ha. Right? I, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. All right. And as Officer of 5,000, Hazaha brought out on the ISUPK online classes page, I believe about a few weeks ago, he had a outstanding book that he was going out of, and this book was about it was a Hebrew book, right? And in the book, it stated that the languages that we speak in the world today, they all come from Hebrew, right? So this is the oldest language known to man, all right? So Salaki, I, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. Salaki, I'm gonna try to breeze through these really quickly. Try to get through these real quick. That way I'm getting to the lesson. Salaki, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just go ahead and run them all down really quickly. Just go over the whole alphabet, ancient and Assyrian at the same time. All right. Oh, hey, I'm gonna read these off camera. You can see the characters. You'll follow along with me as I just run them down real quick from right to left because the Hebrew is written from right to left as opposed to English, which is left to right. All right. So I'm just gonna sound them out real quick, and then we're gonna get into the lesson. Right. At the top of each character, the very top character is the ancient. As you can see, there's a couple of characters that have three in the same row as them. That's because I'm gonna get to that when I get to those. So we have I, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. That's the first five. Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya. Second five. All right. Then you have Ka, which looks like a C with kind of like a sideways V in it, right? At the bottom of that is the Syrian character for Ka. At the bottom is the Syrian character for Ka at the end of the word. Next, we have La. Then you have Ma, right? Ma, the Assyrian character. And then you have Ma, another Assyrian character, which is Ma at the end of a word, right here. Right? Then you have Na, the Assyrian character for Na, and then the Assyrian character for Na at the end of a word. All right? So like it. Sa, I. Then you have Pa, another character that has three characters. You have your Pa Syrian, and then you have your Pa Syrian at the end of the word, right? Which is right here. Right? Next we have Tazah. All right. The Assyrian character for Tazah, and then the Assyrian character for Tazah at the end of the word, right here. Okay. Then we have Qua. All right. Then these final three characters, Ra, Sha, and Tha. All right. So 22 characters in the ancient Hebrew, 27 characters in the Assyrian Hebrew, being that five of those characters have different characters at the end of a word. All right. Let's get into this lesson. We're going to go over Genesis 1 and 1, then Amos 5 and 21. All right. Break it down in the Hebrew. First, I'm going to read them in English, and I'm going to break down the Hebrew. Starting with Genesis 1 and 1. Right here. Get it dry so I can write this dark so the viewers can see it. Hey, Shalom, Lord Christ, Sister Ann. Appreciate you for checking in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. You got any questions? I can see the comments. Feel free to go ahead and put them in there. All right. So Genesis 1 and 1. Get my sword so I can read it for y'all. And it's very important to know this Hebrew because the English version of the Bible, of course, the King James version of 1611 is what we use is because it's the closest to the Hebrew, right? Authorized by King James, right? And the reason why it's so important to understand this Hebrew when reading the Bible is because with all of these new revised versions of the Bible and these basically toilet paper Bible versions, you understand? If you don't understand the Hebrew, then you won't understand what you're actually reading. This is why we use the King James 1611 version, is because you can't pull the wool over a brother's eyes and eyes should be caved because we understand the Hebrew. You understand? This is why we totally against using any other version of the Bible besides the King James version. All right. So let's get this. And Genesis 1:1 is is like it's a great example of a scripture that you would need to understand the Hebrew to actually read it or understand what Genesis 1:1 is actually saying. All right. So I'm gonna read it for you. This is the book of Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, with basic understanding of English, you would think that God formed the heaven and the earth by himself, which this is not the case, right? This is why the Lord is called the Most High God. This is why the Scripture says He is a man of war. The Lord has a so to speak military ranking system in Himself, just like Commander General Yana and the ISUBK, right? So let's break this down, all right? We read it to you in the Hebrew, all right? Bara, Salakia. Bara'ashya, Bara'ah, Allahayim, Allah, Salakia, Atha, uh, Nashamayim, Wa'atha, Wa'aratazah. All right. Now let's break this down. All right. In the beginning, in the beginning, make sure y'all can see that. Okay, Most High Christ. In the beginning, that translates to Bara'ah, Salakia, Bara'ah Shayah. All right. Bara'ah, Salakia, Bara'ah Shayah. Okay. In the beginning, Ba, Ra, Ah, Sha, Ya. Right. Like I'm just writing it down quickly so brothers and sisters can get a feel for how to say it in the English. Bara'ashaya, in the beginning. All right. I'm gonna write it down in the ancient characters as well as the Assyrian characters. All right. Because if you get a Paleo Hebrew Torah, right? This is what your Paleo Hebrew Torah is going to read to you. I'm gonna write it in an Assyrian first and then an ancient up under. Okay. So at the top, you have your Assyrian characters for Bara Ashaya. All right. You have your Ba, Ra, A, Sha, Ya, and Fa characters, right? There's the Syrian up here at the top. Okay? At the bottom, Ba, Ra, A, Sha, Ya. All right? Translates to in the beginning. You see, you have a connector with the Ya and the Tha characters, right? So in the beginning or Bara Asha Ya. Okay? So, Lagi, I'm going to try to write it a little bit better than that moving forward so we can slide you. Also, a good tool to studying the Hebrew that you can download on your phone is something called the Blue Letter Bible. It's a great tool. I would advise you to be kind of it. I would advise you to know the characters in the ancient Hebrew as far as what the ISUBK teaches you, because the oppressor does not pronounce the characters how they are correctly pronounced. All right. Okay. So I got in the beginning at first. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and Slocky. I'm gonna scratch the in the beginning part, and then I'm gonna just try to move forward with making it better for my viewers to see, so it can make sense more. Right. So we got in the beginning out the way. Next we have created. Created. All right. And created translates to bara'ah. All right. Bara'ah. Okay. Created bara'ah. All right. Bara'ah. You have your Assyrian over here. It's the Bara and Ah characters. Ancient to the left of that. Bara'ah. All right. Created. Okay. Now this is where it gets tricky. All right. As far as knowing uh, what you read in English and how it translates to Hebrew. Right. So I'm gonna read it once again in the English. In the beginning, God. All right. Like I said, the scriptures in English will have you think that um, God created the heaven and earth by Himself, which this is not true, and I'm gonna break it down for y'all right now. Okay. So God, right? God, right? And ISUPK, we understand that the word God's translates to power, all right? But let me break this down for you, right? Now, in the Hebrew, this word God translates to Alahayim, right? Alahayim, all right? Alahayim, all right? Now, Alahayim, all right? Let's get that. Block, I'm gonna write it down for y'all real quick. Uh, right? Now, Alahaya, right, would be power, or Alahayim, right, would be powers, right? So this YAM at the end, or this Yah and Ma character at the end, makes this Alahaya plural, all right? So basically what's going on is, since the Lord being the most high God and a man of war, he has soldiers, so to speak, up under him, which is the spirit of Christ and the angels. So the Lord is giving an order to Christ and the angels to do his work that he wants them to do. He's giving them out of order, all right? As we know, in the Bible, when you see Lord in all caps, that translates to Yahweh. Yeah. Yeah. What? Right? Yahweh, which is the Lord's name, or the Most High God's name, all right? Now, you see God in the beginning, God, or Allahayim, all right? Right here, you see Lord, or Yahweh. These is two different words. So this is not the Most High God creating the earth, right? Or forming it with his own hands. This is the Lord giving out an order to the Spirit of Christ and the angels up under Christ to make the heavens and the earth, right? So when you see in the beginning, God, if you look that up on the blue letter Bible, you're not going to see Lord or Yahweh. You're going to see Allahayim, which is different from the Most High God. All right. These are the powers that are under God. Right. So this is why it's very important for brothers and sisters to learn this Hebrew so you can know what you actually dealing with as far as reading these scriptures. Right. Okay, now that we got that out the way, that was just a quick sidebar. So brothers and sisters can actually understand that there's context to the scriptures, and the context to these scriptures comes from the words that you read. Of course, this English translation of the Bible is translated, the King James Version, of course, is translated from the Hebrew. All right. Okay. Next, we have the heaven. The heaven, which is Hashemayim, right? The heavens, Salaki. Okay, the heavens. Ha Shemayim. All right. And which is Asa, right? Or Salakia. Go back up to the heavens. Syrian spelling for the heaven, all right? You have your Ha, Sha, Ma, Ya, and Ma characters. Okay. Next to that, the ancient Ha, Sha, Ma, Yum. The Ya and Ma characters connect at the end of that word. All right. Next, we have and or a Fa. All right. Assyrian spelling, you have your I and Fa characters, as well as the ancient spelling, the I and Fa characters, no connection there. All right. Then last, we have the earth, which is Wa'aratazah. Right? Wa'aratazah. The earth, Wa'aratazah. All right. Syrian spelling to the right, to the far right. I mean, Shalakia. Make sure y'all can see that. Okay, Most High in Christ. You have your Y, I, Ra, and Tazah characters. Ancient spelling to the left of that. Y, I, Ra, Tazah. No characters connected at the end of that word or in that word whatsoever. All right. So Shalaki, I'm gonna read it one more time for y'all in the English, then in the Hebrew, and then we're gonna go to Amos 5:21. All right. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1. Right. That's the English. This is the Hebrew. Right. Bara'ashayah, Bara'ah, Alahayim, Atha, Hashemayim, Wa'atha, Wa'aratazah, Salakia. This and was supposed to be, I was moving too fast, it was supposed to be and the, which is Wa'atha, right? Because Wa means and the, Atha. Right? Okay, that's that on Genesis 1 and 1. Now let's go to Amos 5:21. I can pull it real quick. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Right? Let's get that. Okay, so in the Hebrew, you see, I just read in English. In the Hebrew, it would translate. I'm gonna read it in English. I despise your feast days, and not, I will smell in your solemn assemblies. All right. So it's the same thing, but the Lord is saying, instead of saying, and I will not, he's saying, and not will I, or and not I will. All right. Water to the viewers. Like I said, Lord willing, we're gonna be trying to push out more classes on this IGBK Sacramento channel. The water for helping us support this truth. The water for y'all supporting this truth. Most High in Christ. Like, Okay, now let's get in Amos 5 and 21. Amos 5 and 21. I hate, all right, Shanathaya, Shanathaya, right? I hate or Shanathaya. Serious spelling to the far right. You have your Sha, Na, Tha, and Ya characters. Ain't just spelling to the left of that. Sha, Na, Tha, Ya. No characters connecting there. All right. I despise. Slovakia. Ma'as, Ma'astaya. Ma'astaya. Right. I despise. Ma'astaya. Right. I despise. Ma'astaya. All right. Ma'astaya. Syrian spelling to the far right, you have your ma, sa, fa, and ya characters. Ain't just spelling to the left of that. Ma, as, the I inside there characters connect right here. All right. The ya, I despise, or ma'astaya in the Hebrew. All right. Your feast days, kagia come, kagia come. All right. A lot here. All right. Your feast days, Chag Yakam. All right. Serious spelling to the far right. You have your Ka, Ga, Ya, Ka, and Ma characters. Ancient spelling to the left of that. Chag, the Ka and Ga characters connect right here. Ya, Kam, the Ka and Ma characters connect right here. Right. And not, and not, which is Wa, La, A. All right. And not. Wa meaning and la'a meaning not. Or no. La'a meaning not or no. All right. And not. All right. And not. Wa la'a. Serious spelling to the far right. You have your wa, la, and I characters over here. Ancient spelling to the left of that. Wa, la, a. Right. Mm, I will smell. All right. I will smell, which is arayak. Arayak. And not I will smell. All right. Clarity. Arayak. Uh, I will smell. Arayak. All right. You have your serious spelling for Arayak all the way to the right, far right, right here. You have your A, Ra, Ya, and Ka characters. All right. Ancient spelling to the left of that. A, Ra, Ya. The Ya and Ka characters connect at the end of that word, or slightly at the end of that phrase. Okay. Uh, so we have Salagia. Yeah, I'm gonna try to fit the rest of this in here. Salagia, I'm not. Yeah, kind. I can fit that in there. In your solemn assemblies, which is Ba Itaza Ratayakam. All right. Ba Itaza Ratayakam. In your solemn assemblies. All right. Like you bear with me. I'm gonna try to fit this at the bottom so I can just run it down for y'all. Okay. Like here. Ba'itaza, Salakia, Ba'itaza, Ayakam. Okay. It's a lot. You bear with me. I'm like, five, 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 yeah. Five, 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 yeah. On high Christ. Make sure y'all can see that at the bottom. Okay, Most High Christ. In your solemn assemblies by Itazah Tayakah. All right. To the far right, all the way down here at the bottom, we have Ba, I, Tazah, Ta, Ya, Ka, and Ma characters. This is the Assyrian spelling for the word. Salakia for the phrase. In your solemn assembly or in the holy tongue, Ba Itazah Tayakah, Tayakam, Salakia, Tayakam. All right. Ancient spelling to the left of that. Ba, Itazah, the I and Tazah characters connect. Thai, Ya, come. The Salakia, come. Not to be confused with the CHAA, but the KA. All right. Kai, Salakia, come. The Kai and my characters connect at the end of that word. All right. Salakia. So, Salakia, I'm gonna skip. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a couple of vocabulary words in a second. So let's break this down. Let's read it in its entirety. All right. I'm going to read it in the English version. Right. Reading in the English version. Then I'm going to read it to how it translates in English. And then I'm going to read it in the Hebrew for y'all. All right. Like it. Amos 5 and 21. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Now, in the Hebrew, that would translate to I despise your feast days, and not I will smell in your solemn assemblies. All right. Now, in the Hebrew, that would be Shanaya Salakia, Shanataya, Ma'astaya, Kag, Yakam, Wala'ah, Arayak, Ba'itaza, Tayakam. All right. And that's how you break down Amos 5 and 21. Okay. I'll read that again for y'all one more time in the Hebrew. All right. Shanataya, Ma'astaya, Kagiyakam, Wala'ah, Arayak, Ba'itaza, Tayakam. Ba'itaza, Tayakam. All right. And we're going to wrap it up on that last scripture. I'm going to give you all a couple of vocabulary words. Few of them just go off the top of the head. Probably throw a couple names in there. I'm just going to mix it up. All right. Most High in Christ. For y'all tuning into the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share it on Facebook, Share it to your mama, your daddy, your grandpa, your uncle who doubt that the ISUPK actually speaks Hebrew. Share it to anybody. Go share it with the Jewish man that lived next door to you. But share the class, all right? Because it's very important that we get this work and this truth out to the public, to the masses, because this is what the Lord commanded us to do, all right? Live here. I got the wrong equipment today. Lord willing, be better next week, all right? So a couple vocabulary words off the top of the head. I don't have my shield on, but we wear the shield, all right? The shield of David. So I'm going to go shield. Shield, which is magun. Magun, all right? All right? Look. Magun, all right? Make sure y'all can see that. Bear with me. Let me get a better pen. Okay. Shield, magun, all right? Magun. The Syrian spelling to the right, you have your ma, ga, and na characters, all right? This is the na character at the end of a word, all right? To the left of that, your ancient characters. You have your ma, ga, and na characters as well. The ga and na characters connect at the end of that word. Magun, all right? So, like it, this lighting is kind of off. Bear with me. I don't think this is the best choice. Salakia once again. Lord willing, we'll have better equipment next week. Hey, most high Christ, that's a little bit better. All right. Next, David. David, right? Or Dawadah in the Hebrew, right? Dawadah in the Hebrew. Okay, Dawadah, right? Assyrian spelling to your right, ancient spelling to the left of that. You have your da, wa, and da characters. Ancient spelling to the left, same thing, da, wa, da characters. No, no connectors there, all right? And just a quick sidebar. So, like, I'm gonna end it on this note, all right? A lot of these fake Israelites and people of Egyptology like to say that we wear the shield or the star of Molech when they don't understand that scripture. Let me just give you all a little bit of knowledge as far as what this shield represents. All right. Now, as you can see, we have the character of David's name, which the shield is the signet or the shield of David or Dawadah in the Hebrew. Right. This is actually his signature that he would stamp on letters. Right. And the reason why we wear it is because Christ sits on his throne and David's kingdom is to reign on planet Earth forever. So now, his name is Dawadah, right? That's a Da character, all right? If we put another Da character and flip it upside down, all right? That's where the shield comes from, all right? As you see, the Y character looks like this, right? So naturally, if a person is writing a name, or if a superstar or somebody is giving you their autograph, right? Their autograph is not going to be exactly what their name is, right? You got certain NBA players or entertainers that might do say they name start with a D. It'll be a D and a whatever. You understand? Right? This is actually David's signet. All right. Now you see this Y character right here. If I put the Y under here and the Y over here, you have the Magun Dawadah. That's King David's name in the Hebrew, stacked on top of each other. With that being said, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Barakatham to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Lathan Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. This concludes the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class for the Sacramento Israelites page of the ISUBK. Shalom, Israel.